Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius there, doing more action figure reviews, and today we're having a look at another one of the He-Man Masterverse figures. Now these are the Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse, and this is a figure that was exclusive to Target, so that's where I picked this one up. I'm lucky enough that there is a service over here in Ireland that gives you a delivery address for the US. So if you have places that only ship to the US addresses, you can get stuff sent to it and they will forward it on. Obviously there is a cost involved. It's like a proxy address, but because this guy's exclusive to Target, I managed to pick him up that way. It is a bit troublesome trying to set the whole thing up though, but I did get this guy, and this guy is Skeletor. Now, if you're not familiar with this version of Skeletor, because some people aren't, this was one that was around in the 90s. Most people are more akin to the classic design Skeletor, which I don't seem to have one at hand, which is the hood with the kind of yellow face, the purple hood, yellow face, the kind of crossbony thing for the chest. And I know I'm probably butchering the description, but no, that's the kind of standard description or look of him. But what this guy is he is the New Adventures Skeletor. I wouldn't call him the Galactic Protector Skeletor because he's not a protector. It is the New Adventures Skeletor, and he is really nicely done. So we'll have a quick look at the box. Now he is fairly sparse on accessories, but we will get into those in a minute. So on the box, you have the side of the box has a really nice image of the character, of the artwork of the character, and then you have a different artwork on the back. You have Nordor up here in the corner, which is the Stronghold base playset that they released as part of that line back in the day. You have what looks like, I think it's Eternos on the ground behind them, and then you have the Skeletor himself, and then the other figures in the wave. Now, I do remember some of these used to have bios or little descriptions for the characters. Just especially the Jitsu one. I remember people saying that it says that he used to be a bad guy and became a good guy. They seem to have dropped that altogether, or just particularly for this card back, maybe because it's multilingual, they don't have the option of the extra text. It is the way it is. So the other figures from this wave, I have three of actually, and I haven't done any reviews of them, which is Merman, Grizzlor, Buzzoff, and then Faker. Now this is a more classic style Faker, as opposed to the one that was released initially when this line launched, which was the animated Revelation style Faker with the He-Man, more normal He-Man skin tone and the kind of cybernetic parts. This is more based on that kind of magical version of Faker with the blue skin, the kind of Skeletor looking skin with the red hair, and the Skeletor armor, which is that kind of crossbone armor with the Batwing symbol. So, and then you have Skeletor on the side, and then you have the New Adventures He-Man logo on the front, which depicts which version this is. But if you didn't know anything about that and you were just looking at it from the side, it wouldn't really tell you that it's the New Adventures Skeletor. The name just looks the same on all the boxes. But box aside, figure to the front, we have three accessories that he comes with, one of which he is holding. So his only other accessory other than the weapon are the two closed punching fists. So he has a left and right closed punching fists. They're easily enough to swap out, but he technically has an extra accessory, which is already on him in the box, which is this. If I can pop it off his head. It is his helmet. So it is designed to fit his head quite snugly. It is quite a tight fit, and you have to get it on him the right way. But he does have that. It is part, I believe it is on him in the box. I don't think it's separate. Or maybe it is. Actually, it might be separate in the box. I could be wrong. But he has his Havoc staff, which is the newer designed Havoc staff from that series, which has the more kind of updated wouldn't say cybernetic, but more kind of techno-organic look to it. So if I just take it out of his hand, he can hold it in both hands. So it has this very nice blade piece at the bottom, and then you have the skull. Now they got rid of the ram skull and gave him just more of a normal skull, and then he has all these kind of prongs. These kind of, it almost looks, what's the word? Not techno-organic, but steampunk. It almost looks like a steampunk style version of his staff. So it does look pretty cool. He does hold it quite nicely. It can hit the ground nicely enough as well. You can have him holding it two-handed if you wish. So he will hold it in both hands. If I just get it around his thumb. Bear with me a moment. There we go. So you can hold it two-handed if you wish, but he is quite nice. So height-wise on this guy, he should be around the 7-inch mark. So he is just a little over the 7-inch with his helmet, but he is quite nicely done. So I'm going to pop his accessory out of his hands at the moment. So bear with me while I do that, because it is a bit tight in his left hand. So for articulation, he does have the waist swivel. He does have a diaphragm in the waist, which is quite tight on mine, and I don't like forcing it. It feels a little... I do feel like the plastic that they use on these figures feels a little fragile. That, like, over time, it will become brittle. So it could be just me. His arm does rotate all the way around. It does bend out that much. There is a bicep swivel. There is double jointed elbows. Now, he does have a soft goods cape. The cape is the one thing I'm not a big fan of on this version of the character. Not the actual cape itself, but the way they attached it. I think it's... I'll bring in another figure in a minute and I'll show you why I think it looks a little bit ridiculous. It is just attached under at his neck on this little hoop thing. His head is on a ball joint, but it is a bit troublesome to get in poses. Take his helmet off, you can see his head has that kind of ability to kind of push back a bit, but like getting it, because his jawline goes down so much by his neck, it's a bit hard to turn the head left and right. And if you push the head back up to where it kind of just looks unnatural, even though it is a skull face skeletal man, it still looks unnatural for even that. His hands do have a rotation, and depending on which way or which ones you have in, actually I think they all have the same hinge, but they all hinge side to side, or if you have the hand like that, up and down, but it is kind of a side to side movement. There is no other kind of gauntlet swivel or anything like that. His legs can split out that much. He can kick forward. He can't really get into a great seated position because of this whole piece. It's a solid plastic. He does have the thigh swivel. He does have the dual jointed knees, which is quite tight on this guy. He does have the boot cuff. And then he has rocker ankles with peg holes on his feet. Now, as I said, I do love the overall design of this guy. He is quite cool. I do like this soft goods cape. It is a nice addition. It's just the application of how it was attached to the figure is what I don't like. So if I just put his staff back in his hand for a second, I'm going to bring in the other version of this guy that I have, which is one of my favorite figures. Now, he's a bit on the dusty side, and you could do with a bit of a wash because his blue isn't as prominent as it normally usually is. But here he is, next to his classics interpretation of the same character. The classics one is a lot more highly detailed. Obviously, they kind of made the detailing a little more subtle. Like, as you can see on the front plate of the classics one, his chest plate looks like a skull, where it's not as noticeable on this version. But one main part I prefer on this one is you can see how the cape is attached. Now, the cape on this is a solid cape. You can see the dust on mine, unfortunately. He's a bit dusty, as I said. I should have done a better job cleaning him off before doing this review. But like, what's cool about him as well, even on the back, you can see there's detailing going up his back. the helmet is also removable on this version as well, but the way they attach the cape is it goes around and clasps onto these skull icons on his chest plate. I kind of wish they would have done something similar like that for this guy. It really makes him look a good bit better if he was able to have done that. Does this guy have the detailing on the back? Oh yeah, he still does have the detailing on the back, but it's not as painted, I don't think. Yeah, this one has a bit more paint apps on him. Obviously, he's more of a premium figure than this guy, but the overall details are pretty much there. So you have like the circuitry going on the arms. You have the same kind of thing going on the arms. It's not as prevalent, but you still have details sculpted into the sides of the arms. The legs have detailing, circuitry pieces. The body is all kind of circuitry pieces. Even like the helmets and the staffs share the same kind of look. I do love the staff on this one just a little bit more than this one. Just because it's a bit bigger and it looks more menacing looking. But overall, they have very similar aesthetics and they look pretty cool together. Well, pretty cool in general. So I'm going to just move him back here and bring in one other figure, which is this guy's technically minion slash wave mate slash whatever you want to call him. Here he is. Get him. Put his weapon in his gun mode. It might be a bit better. Here is New Adventures Skeletor with New Adventures Slushhead, who is one of the villain characters. He's one of the henchmen guys from the same crew. Basically, in a nutshell, the story is He-Man gets transported to the future to help save the planet, and I think it's called Eternos, if I remember correctly. It could be, or is it maybe it's renamed something else. Anyway, he gets transported to the future. Skeletor follows him, and in the future they're being attacked by the people that He-Man is recruited to, or recruited by, to help save them, are being attacked by the evil space mutants, of which this is one of them. And Skeletor ends up technically befriending them slash becoming their leader slash becoming an ally to them for his own nefarious purposes, I would imagine. And then the story kind of continues from there. But as I said, overall, he's a really nice figure. If you're a fan of the New Adventures, the only one I'm missing so far out of this line, they haven't announced anyone else yet, I don't think. But the only other figure is He-Man himself, or Galactic Protector He-Man. So hopefully I might pick him up at some point. He's been out a while now, so I will have to go third-party market for him. And it's just a matter of biding my time to get the right price that I'm willing to pay on him, as opposed to whatever ridiculous prices third-party sellers are generally trying to tend to sell him for. But overall, he's a great figure. Skeletor and Slushhead look great together. If you're a fan of the Masterverse and this particular wave, I do recommend picking them up, because I'm assuming the more they sell, the more characters they will actually invest in and try and create for this line. And we might even get characters that were never made in figure form as well. So hopefully somewhere down the line we might have a full contingency of all the space mutants and all the good guys. Even though I know some people hated some of the designs for the good guys, like Hydron seems to be hated on for some reason. And well, I'll wrap this up here because I could keep going for ages on Skeletor and his minions on New Adventures. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you enjoy your day wherever you are. Cheers.